For 17 years, Stock Car Steel has been a leading materials supplier to the racing industry. We're proud they're a Motorsports content partner here at Race Chaser Online. The biggest names in NASCAR trust Stock Car Steel for raw materials such as carbon steel, chrome moly, DOM, aluminum, plastics, and much more. You can't build a race car without the basic materials, and Stock Car Steel is the place to get them. Don't forget to also visit Stock Car Steel's sister company, SRI Supplies, for racing and industry. SRI is the place to go for all your shop supply needs. Nuts, bolts, rivets, tapes, adhesives, cutting tools, chemicals, body shop supplies, paint shop supplies, lubricants, and more. A well-stocked race shop is a winning race shop, and the path to winning begins with 3 letters, SRI. For more information, visit stockcarsteel.com or SRI-supplies.com. Check them both out on Facebook or call them toll-free at 1-888-752-7272, 1-888-752-7272.
I'm Jacob Seelman.
And I'm Tom Baker.
You're listening to Speed 77 Radio,
powered by Race Chaser Online.
We are your home for motorsports.
Hello everyone and welcome to tonight's Stock Car Steel SRI Motorsports Report. I'm your host, Tom Baker. Most of you know we talk NASCAR-style modifieds and pavement late models on this show, and we've got another fast half hour of news and interviews lined up for you. Tonight, we'll talk NASCAR wheel and modifieds as we wrap up the final race of the season and hear from their champion. We'll also talk to one of the top Southern Late Model Series racers, Bassett, about his move to NASCAR's K&N East Series and what his plans are for 2014. We'll begin in the North Country, where the NASCAR Wheel and Modified held its final points race of the 2013 racing season up in New England at the Thompson Speedway in Thompson, Connecticut last weekend, part of the track's famous, or should I say infamous, World Series of Racing card. Rowan Pennock won the battle, taking the checkered flag in the race, but it was none other than Ryan Preece winning the war as he wrapped up the 2013 Tour Series Championship. At the stripe, it was Pennock taking the checkered flag. Donnie Leah came across the line in second. Preece had a strong run to finish third. Pole sitter Bobby Santos came across the line in fourth, and it was Ronnie Silk rounding out the top 5. We caught up with Ryan Preece one more time to discuss last weekend's race and what it means to win the 2013 NASCAR Wheelin' Modified Tour Series Championship. Here he is.
Well, Ryan, you didn't win the battle last week at Thompson Speedway, but you surely did win the war. Congratulations on being crowned the 2013 NASCAR Wheelin' Modified Tour Series champion.
Thanks. Yeah, it's definitely something special, and I'm definitely excited to be the 2013 Wheelin' Modified Tour champion, and I'm excited for all the things to come.
Talk about the race at Thompson a little bit this past weekend. It certainly was a race that you thought going in you could win. Rowan Pennock took the checkered flag, but of course you got the championship. Talk about that World Series racing weekend. For those who have never experienced it, it's just crazy up there.
Yeah, it was definitely pretty crazy, and but I made the best of it, and we came home with a solid run, and I may not have won the race, but we did something we wanted to do, and that was win the championship. So now we get to go to Charlotte in December and go down for the week and kind of do all the things that NASCAR has us doing, and it's definitely pretty exciting. We had a pretty strong, solid weekend, and I'm looking forward to next year.
Let's talk a little bit about that excursion in December to Charlotte. What exactly goes into that for you as a member of the NASCAR Next program, and what right now does it appear like your plans might be for 2014?
Right now, my plans for 2014 are pretty much the same as they were this year. Bounce to Riverhead, Thompson, Stafford, maybe some Waterford, the Wheel and Modified Tour, Modified Racing Series, and some indoor midget racing. So going to be pretty exciting. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm just I'm definitely ready to go and ready to keep racing. You know, my last race of this season so far is probably going to be the Turkey Derby with the 7NY with Bono and Tommy Baldwin, Gary Putnam, and their crew. So I'm definitely looking forward to it, and I'm definitely still pretty excited.
Wall Stadium's always an adventure, and the Turkey Derby is another one of those races like the Snowball Derby for the late models or the International Classic for the supers. It's one of those modified races you just love to be able to say that you've won, and I know you got to be excited to go run that.
Yeah, I've raced at Wall once, and it was an interesting race, but it was quite a while ago, and I haven't been there in probably 6 or 7 years, so I'm excited to go back there, and I'm looking forward to it, especially because I'm going to be in the 7NY, and they have a great bunch of guys, so I'm looking forward to it, and it can't come quick enough.
What can you tell us about what's going to be happening at Charlotte in December? Anything?
To be honest with you, I'm not even sure with what's going on. I haven't gotten the itinerary yet, but I'm sure that they're going to have plenty of stuff planned for us to do.
Well, it sounds like you've got an active next couple of months planned anyways to finish out the season, even though you're only in the cockpit of a car once or twice. You've certainly got some other things going on, and I know you're looking forward to 2014. Hopefully we'll see you spending some more time in the full-size stock cars next year as well. Any hints at that or any plans for that at this moment, or is that still up in the air?
Right now, the plan is with Tommy Baldwin, or to do 6 to 10 races, but that's all pretty much on funding that I'm hoping for, but I'm not really 100% counting on. So hopefully we can get something going. More than 100%. I want to go down there and I want to race as much as I can. And Tommy's definitely giving me a great opportunity, but everybody knows how hard it is to come by with sponsors nowadays. But we got people working on it, and I'm looking forward to 2014.
Ryan, now that you're the champ, we'll give you one more chance to give some thank yous, some shout-outs. I know there were an awful lot of people that went into helping to make this happen for you this year.
Yeah, that's definitely true. As far as, my car owner, Eric Sanderson, the owner of Flamingo Motorsports, and East West Marine, Brian Slaga, they do, a bunch for me, and also Paul S. and Terry S. from R&B Enterprises, Diversified Metals, Bob the Builder, FK Rodden, Racing Electronics, Sunoco Race Fuels, Fergola Performance Systems, Performance Friction, and everybody else involved in my NASCAR Wheel Modified Tour team. It's definitely been a great year, and we're going to try and keep, try and do one better for next year.
Well, we appreciate all the time you've spent with us over the recent weeks here on the Stock Car Steel SRI Motorsports Report, and we definitely are excited for you getting the championship, and we look forward to keeping up with all of the new developments for you as they get finalized for 2014.
Yeah, hey, thanks for having me on, and hopefully I'll be talking to you more in the future.
That is Ryan Preece, and we're going to throw the first caution flag of the evening here on the Stock Car Steel SRI Motorsports Report. We will be back with more conversations. The fastest half hour in motorsports continues. You are listening to the Stock Car Steel SRI Motorsports Report on Speed 77 Radio and Race Chaser Online. For 17 years, Stock Car Steel has been a leading materials supplier to the racing industry. We're proud they're a motorsports content partner here at Race Chaser Online. The biggest names in NASCAR trust Stock Car Steel for raw materials such as carbon steel, chrome moly, DOM, aluminum, plastics, and much more. You can't build a race car without the basic materials, and Stock Car Steel is the place to get them. Don't forget to also visit Stock Car Steel's sister company, SRI Supplies, for racing and industry. SRI is the place to go for all your shop supply needs. Nuts, bolts, rivets, tapes, adhesives, cutting tools, chemicals, body shop supplies, paint shop supplies, lubricants, and more. A well-stocked race shop is a winning race shop, and the path to winning begins with 3 letters, SRI. For more information, visit stockcarsteel.com or SRI-supplies.com. Check them both out on Facebook or call them toll-free at 1-888-752-7272, 1-888-752-7272.
Coming to Tampa Bay, I said we want to win a Super Bowl, and I believe we will.
From IamSecond.com.
We came close, but never really did win that championship.
Former NFL head coach Tony Dungy.
At the end of my 6th year, I was fired, and it was one of the biggest disappointments of my life. Next year, I'm in Indianapolis, get to the playoffs, but get knocked out again. And for the next couple of years, it's the same thing. Everyone is saying Colts are never going to win one. And I did wonder, why didn't it pan out the way I thought it would? But I determined that I had to have Christ first, and that everything else came below that, including my own desires. The next year, that ended up being our year to go to the Super Bowl and win it, and it was a wonderful feeling. Every decision I make, I'm going to make it through the lens of Jesus Christ, and He'd guide us to that ultimate victory.
Watch Tony's story at IamSecond.com.
I'm Jacob Seelman.
And I'm Tom Baker,
You're listening to Speed 77 Radio,
powered by Race Chaser Online.
We are your home for motorsports.
Welcome back to tonight's Stock Car Steel SRI Motorsports Report. We turn our attention now to the late model division, and more specifically to the South, where a young racer named Ronnie Bassett has made his mark over the past few seasons. Bassett, the older brother of 2013 UARA Stars Late Model Series points leader Dylan Bassett, has picked up a couple of wins on that tour himself this season, before pulling back in order to focus on putting an effort together for a limited schedule of races in the NASCAR K&N East Series. Making his debut in the series mid-season, Bulldog, as he's known to his family and friends, left no doubt he would be a force to be reckoned with as he gets more seat time behind the wheel of his family-owned and operated machine. Ronnie joins us now on tonight's show.
Ronnie, it's been a while since we've talked here, and I know that you've been up to some good things here as of late, taking a step into the K&N series and looking forward to some things next year. But let's back up. First of all, give us a big picture overview of your 2013 season so far.
Yeah, we stepped out of the UARA Tour here recently. We started off this year running it. We won the first 2 races and ended up finishing 3rd at Rockingham, and then we had some good racers so far this season. Like you said, we stepped out of the UARA Tour and made some starts in the K&N stuff, just trying to put our foot in bigger doors and trying to move up the ladder a little bit. But yeah, we had a pretty decent season, won 3 races. Not really what we were looking for this season. Hopefully, win a few more, like everybody else was thinking, or like they want to do. And like I said, we just going into bigger doors, and it's been a lot tougher. But, it's a learning curve for all of us, and we'll keep on digging.
Let's talk about, first of all, your K&N starts so far. Wrap us up on where and when and how you ran, and talk a little bit about your baptism by fire, if you will, in the K&N East Series.
We started off we were in Greenville Pickens Labor Day weekend, and ended up qualifying 14th, and motor expired on us about 35 laps into the race. So we went back to the shop, changed motors and all that stuff, and went to New Hampshire. It's like a month later, I think it was, and qualified 14th there as well, and ended up finishing the top 10th. And, we had a really good race car, just every wreck that seemed to happen, we were right there around it and got involved in a few of them, and came down pit road 2 or 3 times and got the damage fixed and still survived a 10th place finish, which wasn't bad. Then we went to Dover the week after, and it was a different experience for me running Dover, just the speed and the car wise and all that stuff. Ended up qualifying 27th, and they had 4 provisionals, in which knocked us out of the race by 1 spot. So we ended up not getting the race, and it was tough for all of us, but there's a learning curve there, like I said, and we'll keep on digging.
Yeah, I'm sure there was a learning curve. Talk about the transition in terms of you as a driver. What does K&N require in terms of a driving style that maybe the late model doesn't so much, or what are some of the differences, some of the things that you've had to adjust to as a driver, both on the track and also in the feel of the car?
The biggest thing I've said, is horsepower, which is the different motors and stuff like that, more horsepower up off the corner, and moving down the straightaway and stuff like that. And in the K&N car, you have a lot better brake system, to where you don't have to use much brake pressure. As far as the late model, the car is a few hundred pounds lighter, and you got a lot less brake in the late model. And, those are two biggest things. The weight's a lot different as well. But as far as anything else, the driving is pretty much the same. The K&N car doesn't move around as much on a racetrack like the late model can. But it's pretty sturdy. Like you see the Cup cars on TV, how they're all sturdy and stable. That's about what the K&N car feels like.
And so now, is it your intent to run the full season of K&N East next year? Is that what you're looking at?
We're working on some sponsorship stuff. I'm still looking for some people to come on board and help us out as far as being able to do it. But we're going to do what we can do. And if we can only run 1 or 2 races, that's what we're going to do. If we can't do it right, run 1 or 2 races, we won't run any at all and just wait till we can do it right.
Okay, so and if not K&N, then will we see you run more kind of an outlaw type late model situation, maybe where you don't concentrate on any one track or series, but kind of move around and do some different things? Or what would be the plan? Where can fans expect to see you next year, one way or another?
That's about right. We'll move around. We'll go to all the NASCAR tracks and just move around all the big races and try to get our name out there and see if people can notice it, and maybe if they do, can get us a sponsor and be able to run a few K&N races next year. But again, we won't stay at one racetrack. Probably won't run the Tour again next year, but we will probably venture around to different racetracks and go to where all the competition is, and like I say, try to get our name out there and get a sponsor.
Well, I'm sure everybody in UARA will be happy to know that you're not going to run the Tour again next year, just from the standpoint of, because boy, have you won a lot of races the last couple of years with that. But of course, you left, and then little brother Sparkplug picked right up where you've left off.
Yeah, he's been doing a heck of a job. I haven't raced. This is the first race, or last weekend was the first race I've raced in the Tour since probably 4 races.
Right.
And me and crew chief Chris Lawson, we haven't been going and watching as much as like we were there every weekend. But we've kind of lost touch over a little bit. Brother's been wearing them out, and went to Tri-County this past weekend, and he did a heck of a job. Drove past me, matter of fact. And like I said, with him being there every weekend, and us sitting out a few weeks, it's kind of hurt us. But we've been to Hickory the past 2 days testing and working on some stuff, trying to get better riders this weekend.
Well, it sounds like fun, and I know you guys are an awful lot of fun to watch, and you've had a good couple of years, and certainly Dylan a big year this year, and good to see little brother having that chance to be at the top. And it sounds like either way you're going to have some fun next year, but hopefully with the K&N more so than with the late model, if you can get the funding, if anybody's interested and they're out there and maybe thinking about, well, maybe I'd like to look into that, how do they go about doing that?
Just contact them, either me or my dad. It's pretty much whatever anybody feels comfortable with giving us. Like I said, we'll take anything we can get. As for right now, it's just pretty much my dad supporting it all. We had Green come on board this year, which has been a big help. And Rex here in Art Galleries has been a real big help as well. But, we're looking for a primary sponsor. Anybody out there willing to come on board or want to talk about it, you can give my dad a phone call.
And you guys have got some excellent crew chiefs of some great help around the team that really has made a difference in your performance over the last couple of years as well.
Yes, sir. Chris Lawson is the crew chief on my car. He's done a phenomenal job the past 3 or 4 years. We've been working together ever since we've been communicating back and forth in and out of the race shop and at the racetrack. We've seen it run pretty decent. Seth Smith was my car chief last year with Chris Lawson, both of them working together. And this year he moved over to Dylan's car, and they've really clicked on, been working well together as well. And like I say, it takes a lot of good people in the shop, dedication and hard work to want to win races and run up front.
Well, congratulations on the success that you've had the last couple of years, Ronnie, and I know that you're looking forward to this weekend's race and certainly to what's ahead. So hopefully you'll find the partnerships that you need to be able to go Can-Am East Racing. I know that is such a competitive series, the level of competition in that series. You think it's great in late model, and it is, but boy, Can-Am is just so tight.
Yeah, that's the cool thing. You got all the big teams and you got all the big racetracks. Getting closer and closer up to the cup level, being able to run places like Dover and New Hampshire, and just going to all them tracks and getting your name out there is a big deal as far as trying to get sponsorships. You're seeing people, car owners and stuff like that looking at you.
Well, good luck this weekend, and certainly good luck with your off-season plans. Hope that we'll see you more in the Can-Am East next year. And thanks for taking some time to chat with us here on the Stock Car Steel SRI Motorsports Report here this evening.
I appreciate it. Thank you guys for allowing me to get on the show.
We're going to throw our second and final caution flag of the evening here on the Stock Car Steel SRI Motorsports Report. But when we come back, our producer, Jacob Seelman, will come out from behind the glass and join me on the round table as we talk UARA stars and talk about a couple of drivers who factor into the Sunoco Southern Super Series late model title fight, who are making their debut in the Truck Series this weekend. All of that coming up right after this. You are listening to the Stock Car Steel SRI Motorsports Report on Race Chaser Online and Speed 77 Radio.
Hi, this is Jamie McMurray here for RAD, the entertainment industry's voice for road safety. Want to make a difference? It's simple. Be responsible. Plan ahead. Designate before you celebrate. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
For 17 years, Stock Car Steel has been a leading materials supplier to the racing industry. We're proud they're a motorsports content partner here at Race Chaser Online. The biggest names in NASCAR trust Stock Car Steel for raw materials such as carbon steel, chrome moly, DOM, aluminum, plastics, and much more. You can't build a race car without the basic materials, and Stock Car Steel is the place to get them. Don't forget to also visit Stock Car Steel's sister company, SRI Supplies, for racing and industry. SRI is the place to go for all your shop supply needs. Nuts, bolts, rivets, tapes, adhesives, cutting tools, chemicals, body shop supplies, paint shop supplies, lubricants, and more. A well-stocked race shop is a winning race shop, and the path to winning begins with 3 letters, SRI. For more information, visit stockcarsteel.com or SRI-supplies.com. Check them both out on Facebook or call them toll-free at 1-888-752-7272, 1-888-752-7272.
I'm Jacob Seelman.
And I'm Tom Baker,
You're listening to Speed 77 Radio.
powered by Race Chaser Online.
We are your home for motorsports.
All right, welcome back to the Stock Car Steel SRI Motorsports Report. It is time now to bring our producer, Jacob Seelman, out from behind the glass as we talk a little bit of late model racing from around the country and talk about a couple of drivers who are going to be up this weekend here at the Martinsville Speedway. First of all, Jacob, welcome back to the program. Good to have you back in the air with us.
Thank you, Tom. Appreciate the opportunity to be back and looking forward to having a little bit of conversation here in the closing minutes of tonight's show.
Well, let's talk first about the UARA Stars Championship, Jacob. Of course, that once again underway this weekend at the Anderson Speedway in South Carolina. Dylan Bassett is ahead of Garrett Campbell in the quest for the title in that series. But, of course, this weekend's race will also feature Ronnie Bassett, who we just heard from, once again competing in the series. Jacob, question, does Dylan finish it off this weekend and ice the championship?
I'm going to go out on a very probably pretty thick limb here and say yes, he does. It's really been between Dylan and Garrett Campbell all season, and I know Garrett has won the last 3 consecutive races to get back into this championship fight, and it's only 26 points heading to the finale this weekend at Anderson, but Dylan has been right there matching him almost stride for stride. The races that Dylan hasn't won, he's finished pretty much in the top 3 every single week. Even if Garrett wins the race, which I wouldn't be surprised if he does, I wouldn't be surprised if it's him versus Bassett for the race win on Saturday night. I think Dylan will finish exactly where he needs to ultimately end up icing this championship, regardless of if he makes it another trip to victory lane or not.
Going to be interesting too. Of course, Dylan's got Ronnie in the race as well. To see if having that teammate comes into play before the end of the race as well at Anderson this weekend.
That it will, and I know Ronnie, of course, not being in the championship fight, still 6th in points this season, obviously has put up some very nice numbers, but as you know, teammates are always very beneficial in a good championship fight, and if Ronnie's in a position to help his brother win the championship this weekend, I obviously would expect that to go down. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Ronnie, if he's up there mixing it up in the closing laps, to race Garrett maybe a little bit harder than he would normally.
Going to be a doggone chilly weekend here in the South. I know that. Let's talk a little bit about a couple of drivers now who we've featured recently on our show who are making their debut on the big stage this weekend at Martinsville with the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. First of all, Daniel Hemrick will drive for Sharp Gallagher Racing in the 6 truck. John Hunter Nemechek will run a number 22 truck in a partnership with his dad's race team, Nemco Motorsports. Jacob, could we see either of these two in the top 10 when the checkered flag falls at Martinsville this weekend?
Oh, in the top 10, definitely, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Daniel Hemrick, if the cards fall his way, depending on which trucks are up there in the mix towards the end of this race, even challenging for a top 5 on the short track. John Hunter, I don't think he's quite to that caliber just yet. I think John Hunter will be looking to finish on the lead lap and post some solid numbers here in his debut, but Daniel, we've seen what he can do on the short tracks. We've seen what he can do behind the wheel of the late models, behind just about anything he steps foot in, really. And it may be high expectations on my end, but I fully expect Daniel not to contend for a win per se, but definitely to turn a lot of heads this weekend, just as he has in all the other ranks that he's progressed through to make it to the Truck Series. We know that Eddie Sharp equipment is very potent when the right driver sits behind the wheel. We've seen Justin Lofton, obviously, and Cale Gale both put up some very good, respectable finishes and a couple of wins in their time in Eddie Sharp and now Sharp Gallagher Racing equipment. So, yeah, do I expect Daniel to contend for a top mark? Absolutely. A win? Maybe not so much, but again, I still think he could surprise a lot of people this weekend.
Certainly would be interesting to see both of those racers running in the top 10, and I agree with everything you said. I think there is a chance for both of them, maybe a slightly better chance for Daniel Hemrick on the top 10 finish at Martinsville this weekend. And that brings out the checkered flag on tonight's Stock Car Steel SRI Motorsports Report. Our show is a Speed 77 Radio Race Chaser online production and can be heard in podcast form beginning 24 hours after broadcast. That would be on Friday by visiting Race Chaser Online's YouTube channel. Special thanks to Jacob Seelman of Speed 77 Radio for coming on air with us this evening and his insight regarding the late model series, and of course Daniel and John Hunter running at Martinsville. Also, special thanks to all the folks at Stock Car Steel SRI Supplies for making this show possible. You can join Jacob Seelman and me every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. right here on Speed 77 Radio's live stream for the Motorsports Madness Show, a full hour of news and lively conversation from all around the motorsports world. Until next Thursday, I'm Tom Baker, inviting you to check out StockCarSteel.com and SRI-Supplies.com for all of your racing needs. For all the news of the day in motorsports, your first choice for short track news and driver interviews on the web is Speed 77 Radio, powered by racechaseronline.com. So long, everyone, and have a safe racing weekend. Jacob and I will see you right back here Tuesday at 7 for the Motorsports Madness Show. Bye-bye.
I'm Jacob Seelman.
And I'm Tom Baker.
You're listening to Speed 77 Radio,
Powered by Race Chaser Online.
We are your home for motorsports.